What if I told you the thing you hate the most about your life, the thing that broke you, scarred you, crushed you, was the very thing meant to build you? What if I told you your suffering isn't random? It's not punishment. It's not wasted. It's preparation. It's transformation. It's sacred. We live in a world that teaches us to run from pain, to bury it, to numb it, to hide it like it's something to be ashamed of. But what if I told you your suffering has meaning? You see, life doesn't sharpen you with comfort. Life doesn't promote you with applause. Life makes you through the struggle. Life builds you through the fire. Some of the strongest, most powerful souls you will ever meet didn't get there by accident. They were forged in the furnace of hardship. They were broken and rebuilt stronger. They were betrayed and learned loyalty. They were crushed and learned how to rise. Suffering is not your enemy. It's your awakening. It's the doorway to purpose, to wisdom, to strength you didn't even know lived inside you. So today, I'm not here to tell you how to escape your pain. I'm here to tell you how to find the power inside it, how to uncover the meaning hidden in your suffering, how to take the very thing that tried to bury you and turn it into the foundation that lifts you higher than you ever dreamed possible. Because if you can survive the breaking, you can survive anything. And if you can survive anything, you can change everything. Let's talk about why your suffering has meaning. Let's talk about why it had to happen. Let's talk about why your story isn't over. It's just getting started. There's a truth most people don't want to hear. Character isn't built on good days. It's built when the world feels like it's crumbling around you, when you have every reason to give up, but you don't, when you're bleeding emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and yet somehow you keep standing. Suffering, real suffering, strips away everything false and temporary about you. It carves into your heart, into your mind, cutting away laziness, arrogance, and excuses until only the essential remains. Only then do you meet the real you, the one with grit, with resilience, with a kind of strength you didn't even know you had. That's why people who've walked through hell don't walk the same way others do. There's a depth in their eyes, a power in their voice, a certainty in their soul, because they know who they are and they know what they survived. And it's in those trenches, in those lonely, desperate nights where no one else sees you crying, fighting, doubting. That's where the finest parts of your character are being hammered out. Life's most important lessons are taught in the dark. You can read 1,000 books, hear 1,000 speeches, but until you've fought your own demons and tasted your own blood, you won't know the kind of unbreakable spirit you truly carry inside. Suffering is not the enemy. It's not the punishment. It's the preparation. It is the heavy price of greatness, and only those willing to pay it fully and honestly will ever experience the strength they were born to wield. Your character is your destiny, and suffering is the furnace that forges it. Pain is one of life's most brutal, honest teachers. It doesn't whisper, it screams, it doesn't negotiate, it demands attention. When everything in your life is smooth and easy, you might learn a little. But when you're hurting, when the people you trusted betray you, when your plans collapse, when you look in the mirror and barely recognize yourself from all the damage you've taken, that's when the real lessons show up. Pain has a way of pointing you exactly where your soul needs to grow. It exposes your weaknesses without mercy, forcing you to confront them, not run from them. Every heartbreak teaches resilience. Every failure teaches patience. Every humiliation teaches humility. And every loss teaches gratitude for the things you still have. Pain forces you to look inward and question things you took for granted, your values, your dreams, your loyalty, your faith. It's not pleasant, it's not easy, but it's necessary because comfort breeds complacency and only pain shakes you awake. It's only when you're knocked down that you figure out whether you've been building your life on sand or stone. Pain strips away the shallow things you thought mattered and shows you what really does. It teaches you about the strength of the human spirit, about forgiveness, about perseverance, about empathy. And when you listen to what your pain is trying to teach you, you walk away with wisdom, real earned wisdom that no easy life could ever provide. So when you find yourself asking, why me? Why this? Remember, maybe this pain isn't here to destroy you. Maybe it's here to elevate you, to graduate you, to raise you to a higher level you couldn't reach otherwise. Most people walk through life never realizing how strong they truly are. They live behind walls of comfort and convenience, protected from anything that might test their limits. But life has a way of tearing those walls down, and when it does, when the storms come, when everything you leaned on breaks apart, that's when you find out who you really are. Struggle isn't something to avoid. It's the mirror that shows you the depths of your strength. It's one thing to say you're brave when everything's fine. It's another to stand tall when fear is clawing at your throat. It's easy to talk about patience when you're winning. It's another thing to wait in silence when every door is closed and locked. True strength doesn't announce itself loudly. It's quiet. It's the power to keep moving when everything in you wants to stop. It's the ability to love again after betrayal, to dream again after failure, to hope again after heartbreak. Struggle forces you to discover reserves of courage, endurance, and resilience you never imagined you possessed. It teaches you that you are more than your fears, more than your pain, more than the obstacles standing in front of you. It teaches you that real strength isn't just surviving, it's growing stronger in the face of what was meant to destroy you. You don't know how much you can lift until you're under real weight. You don't know how far you can run until your lungs are on fire. You don't know the fire inside you until the world throws ice on your dreams and you decide to burn anyway. Struggle reveals you. It chisels away the illusions you have about yourself and shows you the real warrior within. So when the road gets hard, when the nights get long, when the struggle feels endless, remember, you are not breaking down, you're breaking through. Pain has a strange way of tearing down the walls between people. When you suffer, you suddenly see life differently, you see people differently. You stop judging so quickly, you stop assuming you know what someone else's story is, because now you understand everybody's carrying something heavy that you can't see. Suffering cracks open the hard shell around your heart and teaches you compassion. It teaches you empathy. It teaches you that you're not alone and that none of us are. When you've walked through grief, loss, failure, betrayal, you recognize that look in another person's eyes. You recognize the heavy steps, the fake smile, the silent battles being fought behind the scenes. And because you know that pain personally, you can reach out in a way others can't. You can listen without judging. You can encourage without preaching. You can love without conditions. And those connections, those are the real ones, not the surface level friendships built on convenience, the deep ones. The ones where souls recognize each other, the ones where healing helps heal someone else. Suffering has a way of connecting us to the universal human experience. The understanding that at the core, we're all vulnerable, all fragile, all fighting to find our way home. You realize that kindness matters more than being right. That presence matters more than performance. That love matters more than winning. You realize that lifting someone else up doesn't diminish you, it strengthens you. You realize that in carrying someone else's burdens for a moment, you lighten your own. Pain tears down the illusions of separation and reminds you that we are all, in one way or another, walking each other home. Most people don't find their real purpose sitting comfortably at the top of a mountain. They find it crawling through the valley, broken, tired, unsure if they'll make it. Adversity has a brutal but beautiful way of sharpening your vision. When everything you thought you wanted is ripped away, when your carefully crafted plans collapse, you're forced to ask the deeper questions. Why am I really here? What really matters to me? What am I willing to fight for, cry for, bleed for? That's where purpose is born, not in comfort, but in chaos, not in ease, but in adversity. Purpose isn't about being busy, it's about being called. And that calling often rises from the ashes of pain. Maybe you lost that job because you were meant for something greater. Maybe that heartbreak forced you to love yourself first. Maybe that betrayal cleared the way for real loyalty to find you. Every disappointment isn't a dead end. It's a redirection, a sharpening, a refining. When life punches you in the mouth and knocks you to your knees, it gives you the chance to get up stronger, clearer, and more determined than ever. Adversity forces you to focus. It forces you to let go of distractions, of petty ambitions, of shallow dreams. It forces you to look within and discover what fire is really burning in your soul. And once you find it, once you grab hold of that deeper, purer purpose, no storm can shake you. No critic can stop you. No failure can define you. Adversity isn't the end of the road. It's the beginning of a new one, a better one. One built not on fear, but on faith, not on comfort, but on calling. Your purpose is forged in adversity. And once it's sharpened, nothing can dull it again. When life humbles you, it saves you. You hear me? When life humbles you, it saves you. There's something about pain, about loss, about suffering that strips away the ego, strips away the pride, strips away the self-delusion. It drags you out of your fantasy, slams you down into reality, and shows you exactly who you are. Hard times humble the heart because when you're lying face down in the dirt, when nobody's calling, when the money's gone, when the applause dies, all the illusions of who you thought you were vanish. And what's left? A heart that can finally hear the truth, a spirit that can finally be taught. When everything is going right, it's easy to walk around thinking you don't need anybody, that you earned every blessing you got, that you built your own kingdom. But the storms come to remind you you are not God, you are not invincible, you are not untouchable. And that's not a curse, that's a gift. Because real gratitude doesn't come when everything is perfect. Real gratitude is born when you've tasted loss, when you've sat in the darkness and begged for the light. And when it finally comes, you treasure it like gold. You stop taking people for granted. You stop taking time for granted. You stop living like you're owed something, and you start living like every breath is a miracle. Hard times don't just humble your heart, they clean it. They purge the poison of pride. They wash away the grime of selfishness. They make room for something bigger than you to grow inside you: compassion, gratitude, wisdom. The strongest hearts are the ones that have been shattered and rebuilt with grace. The most powerful souls are the ones who remember what it feels like to lose everything and still wake up grateful. If life is humbling you right now, don't resist it. Don't fight it. Lean into it. Let it break you open, not down. Because once your heart has been humbled, it becomes unstoppable. The weight you carry today is training you for the crown you'll wear tomorrow. You hear me? The burden you're dragging right now, the cross you're carrying, the battle you're fighting in silence, it's not punishment, it's preparation. It's building a strength inside you that the world has never seen. You are being trusted with pain because you are being trusted with purpose. Understand this. Responsibility and suffering go hand in hand. You cannot lead if you have not blood. You cannot carry others if you have never carried yourself through the fire. Every sleepless night, every sacrifice, every silent battle is adding layers to your spirit, layers of endurance, layers of discipline, layers of compassion. One day people will look at you and see the strength, but they won't know the price you paid for it. They won't see the nights you wept. They won't see the prayers you prayed in desperation. They won't hear the screams you swallowed so the world wouldn't see your pain. But you'll know, and God will know, and your strength will speak louder than any words ever could. Life doesn't give real responsibility to the weak. Life doesn't put heavy crowns on fragile heads. Only the tested are trusted. Only the broken are made whole enough to carry the brokenness of others. If you're going through it right now, if the weight feels unbearable, understand that you're not being buried. You're being planted. Roots are going deep. Strength is being forged. Patience is being carved into your very bones. And when your season comes, and it will come, you'll rise with a power that nothing can take away from you. Your suffering today is building your ability to lead tomorrow. It's crafting a spirit that can carry not just your dreams, but the dreams of others who need you. Don't despise the burden. Embrace it. It's making you ready. You don't walk through fire and come out without scars, and you shouldn't want to. Scars are not shame. Scars are proof. Proof that you faced the enemy and lived. Proof that you fell but you rose again. Proof that something tried to destroy you and failed. Every scar you carry, seen or unseen, tells a story. It tells the world. But I have suffered, I have struggled, but I am still standing. There are people out there who will try to shame you for your scars, who will try to tell you that you're damaged, broken, less than. But they don't understand the honor of surviving. They don't know the price you paid to be here, breathing, hoping, trying again. Your scars are your medals, not your mistakes. Wear them, honor them. They show that life hit you hard, but it couldn't finish you. They show that when most would have quit, you kept going. When others ran, you stayed. When others gave up, you fought. Your scars whisper in the dark, you are stronger than you think. They shout in the daylight, you are a warrior. Don't ever hide your scars out of shame. Show them. Testify through them. Because somebody out there is drowning in their own pain, thinking they're alone, and your scars could be the lighthouse that leads them home. Every tear you cried carved a path for someone else's healing. Every time you got up off the ground, you paved the road for somebody else's comeback. You don't inspire people by pretending to be perfect. You inspire them by showing them you blood and still believe. You inspire them by showing them you were crushed but not destroyed. There's glory in survival. There's power in perseverance. There's beauty in brokenness when it's touched by grace. And maybe, just maybe, the scars you once tried to hide are the very things that will save someone else's life. Don't run from them. Don't erase them. Stand tall, stand proud. Let the world see what victory looks like. There are places inside the human spirit that only suffering can reach. There are depths of faith, of wisdom, of surrender that you can't touch when everything's going right. It's only when you're broken open, when you've got nothing left to lean on, nothing left to prove, that the real growth begins. Suffering doesn't just break you down, it strips you bare so that something new can be built. It calls you higher. It calls you deeper. It demands that you find a strength not of this world. When you suffer, you are forced to ask the big questions. You are forced to seek something greater than yourself. You realize that money can't save you. Success can't sustain you. Popularity can't heal you. Only something eternal, something infinite can reach down into your pit and lift you out. That's when you find God. That's when you find purpose. That's when you find yourself. Not the self the world told you to be. Not the self you pretended to be. The real you, the soul you were created to become. Pain shatters the illusion of control. It humbles your pride. It stretches your heart until it aches with longing for something bigger, something truer, something unbreakable. Suffering can ignite a fire of faith so deep that no storm can snuff it out. It pushes you to your knees not to punish you, but to position you. It strips away what doesn't matter so that you can hold on to what does. Some of the most powerful men and women you will ever meet didn't find their greatness through success. They found it through struggle. They found it in the valley of shadow. They found it in the silence after the storm. They found it in the tears they cried when nobody was watching. They found it when they realized, I cannot save myself, but I am not alone. Your suffering is not just about endurance. It's about elevation. It's about transformation. It's about becoming the kind of soul that shakes heaven and earth when you pray, when you speak, when you stand. Your suffering is holy ground. Don't curse it. Don't rush through it. Lean in. Listen. Let it shape you, because when it's done, you won't just have survived, you'll have risen. Listen to me carefully. Your pain is not wasted. Your tears are not wasted. Your battles are not wasted. Every ounce of suffering you have endured is sacred. If you choose to use it, you can either let your pain make you bitter, or you can let it make you a bridge. You can either become angry, resentful, closed off, or you can open your wounds and let them become windows of healing for others. Somebody is waiting for your story. Somebody is praying for a sign that survival is possible. Somebody is crying themselves to sleep tonight, believing that no one understands. And your scars, your testimony, your journey might be the very thing that pulls them back from the edge. Don't underestimate the power of your survival. Don't underestimate the power of simply being here, breathing, hoping, living another day. Pain alone is not enough. Pain redeemed, that's where the power is. When you take your suffering and turn it into strength for someone else, it becomes sacred. When you stand up and say, I went through hell, but I made it out, you light a fire in someone else's darkness. You become a voice for the voiceless, a hand for the hopeless, a lifeline for the lost. You didn't survive just for yourself. You survived so you could reach back and pull somebody else forward. You survived so you could stand in the gap for someone who's not strong enough yet. You survived so you could say, me too. And in doing so, break the chains of shame and fear that bind so many. If you're hurting today, know this, your story isn't over. Your best chapters haven't been written yet. And one day, you will look back and realize your greatest heartbreak became someone else's healing. Your deepest wounds became someone else's wings. Your suffering found its meaning not just in your survival, but in your ability to inspire survival in others. Your pain has a purpose. Your story has weight. And you have a mission this world desperately needs. Now you see it. Your suffering was never a mistake. Your pain was never wasted. Your heartbreaks, your losses, your silent battles, they were not the end of you. They were the beginning of a deeper, stronger, wiser you. Every tear you cried, every moment you thought you couldn't go on, every night you spent wrestling with your doubts, all of it was preparing you for a future greater than the one you imagined. You weren't being punished, you were being prepared. Prepared for a purpose that demands a depth of character only suffering can create. Prepared to carry a light that only shines brighter after walking through the darkest nights. Prepared to stand when others fall, to speak when others stay silent, to love when others shut down. You are not defined by your scars, you are crowned by them. They are the proof that you were tested, and you endured, that you were crushed, but not destroyed, that you bled, but you healed stronger. This world doesn't need perfection. It doesn't need polished masks. It needs real warriors, real survivors, those who can say, I know pain and I still choose love. You are not a victim of your story. You are the architect of your destiny. So lift your head high, walk tall, speak your truth, live your mission, because your suffering has meaning, your story carries weight, and your voice can spark a fire that the world desperately needs. This is not the end of you. This is the beginning of your rise. Your pain has been transformed into power. Your wounds have been rewritten into wisdom. And now it's your time to step forward and set the world on fire with everything you've survived.